turn your entire globe into a concrete parking lot.
It goes, guilty!
Alright guys, listen up. Papu moves so fast, you munch tracks. Hello everyone and welcome back to GameTalk, where we talk about games, new and old. And today is one hell of a special day, and I have to do it, don't I? Last time we did this, Crash Team Racing. I just have to do it, don't I? Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled! It is finally here. CTR Nitro-Fueled. And for those who are wondering, didn't you get the digital nitrous oxide edition? How come you have the physical version too? Because I'm fucking stupid. What a dumb question. Just like many others, when the Insane Trilogy got revealed, my reaction was like, yeah, this is really cool, but CTR. And at the Game Awards, Crash showed up and pulled the trophy out of the box and they showed the trailer and my reaction was like... Yeah, to say I was hyped for the release of this game would be an understatement. This and Crash 3 are some of my favorite games on the PS1, and CTR is what still, I believe to this day, is still one of the best kart racers ever made, alongside MKW of course, which is... But unlike Insane Trilogy, where Vicarious Visions, who made Crash Nitro Kart, developed that, Beenox are the developers behind CTR and F, which are obviously known for their work on the Call of Duty PC ports, Modern Warfare Remastered, and are of course well renowned for developing B-Movie the game. Really putting the B in Beenox, aren't you? And just like last time, and just like with all Game Talk episodes, I will choose to remain unbiased and not let the nostalgia block out any flaws of the game, because that would be unfair. Whether that will be hard or not, I don't know, because I love the original so much, and Nitro-Fueled might be hard to please. I haven't looked at any reviews because I didn't want this review to get influenced by any other. Plus, I didn't really want to see history repeat itself. You know what I mean.
Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled may be the Dark Souls of kart racers.
Oh, okay.
So without further ado, let's get into the game, and I really truly hope that it tops the original and ultimately becomes the best car racer ever made. Will it do that? Well, let's find out.
Fasten your seatbelts for a Beenox recreation!
No fucking way. They did the thing. They did the thing from the original where they come out the box. Nah, I don't buy it. This must be a scheme to get my hopes up. I bet this game's not even gonna be good. I bet they won't even recreate the intro to the menu. They did the thing. In all seriousness though, it's really cool that Beenox went out of their way to recreate those intros. But there's no need to babble on about this stuff. Let's get into the actual racing and see how it feels compared to the original. Oh my god, this game feels better than a fuming wank. Yes, this game feels so much like the original. It's hard to believe they did this. I will say though that it's not a 1-to-1 to the original, but I'd say a 1-to-1.5. It's that close. Why it feels different is that this time, the difference in turning is drastically changed from advanced to beginner characters. The speed characters definitely feel heavier than before. Boosting is exactly the same, where you power slide and press the opposite trigger when the meter goes up and changes color to boost up to 3 times. There's a new feature called Nitro Wheels, where your tires will glow and can help indicate when to boost for those who need it. Jumping off the top of a ramp or ledge still allows you to boost upon landing, and the system where you boost so many times that it gets reserved over in your kart and then you're in a constant turbo state. Everyone, it's here. And this was something that I was quite anxious about when hearing about this game. Nitro Kart compared to CTR of course had a turbo reserve system, but it was not as present. This is what I was afraid of with Nitro-Fueled, but it's here, thank god, and it feels just as satisfying to maintain that boost. Nitro-Fueled feels very similar to CTR, we've established that, but I'm gonna make a controversial argument here. CTR Nitro-Fueled feels better to play than the original. Put down your pitchforks. I'm not saying that CTR feels bad or anything. In fact, that game is one of the most vibrant and responsive games on the PS1. But goddamn, if I had to summarize the feeling of Nitro-Fueled's gameplay in one word, it would be satisfying. It just feels nicer to play. Just like Arkham Asylum makes you feel like you're Superman. It's more satisfying to keep your boost going. Manual boosting sounds more intense than the original. Going over any turbo pad lets you physically hear the turbo charging up in your kart. The characters have different animations and facial expressions for jumping and boosting, and it just feels rewarding to maintain a constant boost. Plus, this game did something unbelievable. In the original, there were regular turbo pads and super turbo pads. The super turbo pads will make you go faster, and if you had boost reserved over, you would be in a constant, extremely fast turbo state, given the fan dub Ultimate Sacred Fire. This was one of the reasons on why Crash Team Racing was the best car racer ever made back in the day, but they actually improved it. How they did this, I don't know. If you say they haven't improved it, eat my ass, you delusional bastard. In the original, if you boosted with super turbo, you would lose it. And if you're wondering, yes, you can actually maintain this blue flame super turbo if you boost constantly to reach Godspeed level. Look at this shit. It is mayhem. It is definitely hard to control and maintain boosting, but if you practice, you can absolutely dominate the competition. Another new mechanic added in is that if you hold square and the direction you want to go in the air, you can actually perform a dash mid-air and maintain this boost. This is perfect if you're playing as an advanced character on a track with some sharp turns. See this, Oxide? Fuck you and your concrete parking lot. Also, there is something else about the racing that I'd like to mention. Crash Team Racing has always been known for its skill gap. No, this ain't no Mario Kart, let me tell you right now. Nitro-Fueled solidifies that statement. This game is difficult, way harder than the original. The AI is ruthless on the hard mode and shows no mercy. They aren't shy to spam rockets and bowling bombs at you. Hell, the AI even uses the entropy clock and the warp orb this time, which they never did in the original. I actually really like that. Even on medium, they can be aggressive. And of course, it's not usually much of a problem and it's actually a really good challenge for experienced players. But for newcomers, is it too hard? I'm not the type of person to say this is the Dark Souls of kart racers, but to call this the hardest kart racer ever made would be a pretty valid statement. The manual boosting system and the reserving turbo is already pretty hard to grasp onto for newcomers, and now with the AI this tough, it wouldn't be surprising if some people just couldn't bring themselves to like Nitro-Fueled. But I don't think I'm in the right position to say this game is too hard. If you're a newcomer to CTR and have played Nitro-Fueled, I want to hear your thoughts on the difficulty. Let me know in the comments. But for now, CTR, the Dark Souls of car racing. Okay, we've discussed the racing and the overall feel, and how I truly believe it feels better to play than the original. But since this isn't a remaster and is a remake, how much new content have they added? So fucking much. I cannot stress the point enough that this is not a CTR remaster. This is its own Crash Team Racing game due to the amount of content that is available. Sure, they've remade all the CTR tracks, characters, and adventure mode. However, all this content makes this game look like a fine dining 5-star restaurant, and the original look like your run-of-the-mill Macca's. Every single track from Crash Nitro Kart has made it into this game. And of course, some changes have been made to suit the CTR formula. All sections from the C&K tracks that included the anti-gravity mechanic has been replaced and worked around, and that is kind of a bummer, but honestly, some tracks like Tiny Temple and Electron Avenue are way cooler now without those sections. Plus, the amount of speed you can obtain in these tracks is faster than me turning off my PS1 after seeing the zombie reveal in Resident Evil when I was 6. But I truly believe some like Thunderstruck and Out of Time were better in C&K. But that's not all the tracks. If you're a PS4 owner, you get an exclusive bonus track called Retro Stadium, which technically isn't a new track, but is a reskin of Turbo Track that looks nearly identical to the PS1 version. Oh, yep, didn't know this was a PlayStation exclusive track, not at all. Never would have guessed. What's also cool is that each track has its own separate CTR starting line, which sometimes changes as the laps go on. Little bit of attention to detail there, and I love it. While we're on the topic of tracks, something that I was hoping for had happened. You have the option of choosing a mirror mode. This is one of the reasons why I loved Mario Kart Wii. It turns your muscle memory into horse shit, and I love it. Choosing mirror mode sometimes makes the tracks unrecognizable, and I love that. It's a nice thing for the experienced CTR players to make the game feel fresh. We got 32 currently playable tracks, plus the option of mirror mode, and confirmation that we'll be seeing more tracks being added later on for free. Well, goddamn, that's pretty impressive. But how about the characters? Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has a whopping 42 playable characters, and that is damn impressive. Well, along with the exception of, 4 fucking Marios. Nintendo, what the hell's wrong with you? Like we didn't have enough characters handling shit? What? That's what plumbers do, don't they? CTR Nitro-Fueled has 26 current playable characters, plus confirmation that we'll be getting more post-launch for free. Along with all the content this game brings to the table, that's pretty good. All 15 characters from the original are here, even the bonus characters like Fake Crash, Entropy, and Penta Penguin, which are all unlocked in the same ways as the original. You get Fake Crash when doing the Purple Gem Cup in Adventure Mode, you get Entropy when you beat his times in all the time trials. Yeah, all 31 tracks. Fucking hell, that's ridiculous. And Penta Penguin is actually unlocked via cheat code in the main menu, just like the original.
Yay, Penguin, I won!
Penguin, yay one.
For the love of God, Beenox, put this into Nitro-Fueled.
What can I say except you're welcome?
Nitrous Oxide is now a playable character, which was bound to happen. He's unlocked when defeating him in adventure mode. Alongside all the Nitro Kart tracks, the characters have been added as well, like Crunch Bandicoot, Pink Dick, Velo, those things that no one ever cared for, and the bosses, which is really cool as they were never playable in the PS2 version. Fake Velo didn't get added, which is really surprising as the normal Velo is named Real Velo, which makes me think that the big version of him will be added in at a later date. All the Nitro Kart characters are unlocked with Wumpa coins you earn from races on and offline from the game's pit stop, which I'll talk about later. This is a really diverse roster and there is something for everyone. Characters from the original trilogy, villains from the post Naughty Dog era, and the Nitro Kart roster. And Beenox, if you're gonna add multiple versions of characters just like Mario Kart does, I want the real Crash. You know, the bloke in the big suit. While we're on the topic of characters, Beenox seemed to bend over backwards to bring forward the Nitro Kart roster and make characters like Zem and Zam more likable and more memorable characters this time. But why not bring some of the characters from the original trilogy that never made it into the original CTR roster? Brio will always be my big example for this. Apart from Crash and Cortex, Dr. Nitrous Brio is one of the most important characters to the Crash series as a whole. And I don't care about anyone else really. Beenox, listen to me. Add Brio into the Grand Prix really soon, please. He's like my favorite character, please. One thing in Nitro-Fueled that gives us all hard nips is customization. Games that let you deck out your character, I tend to love. You can earn Wumpa coins from just playing the game. You tend to get more online though. With these Wumpa coins, you can go into the game's pit stop. Okay, listen, Beenox. I love what you've done with the game, and I love all this customization stuff, but Fortnite's item shop? Seriously? To be fair, while it may look the same, this is actually a lot better than Fortnite's item shop. When you purchase an item, that slot gets replaced for something else for you to buy, so there isn't technically daily set items. There are rotations every day, but if you have a lot of Wumpa coins, you can buy whatever you want. And the best part about it, no microtransactions. It's an Activision game that doesn't include any microtransactions. I must be dreaming. Anyway, the pit stop includes the Nitro Kart characters, certain skins for characters, carts, decals, paint jobs, wheels, and stickers for you to purchase and deck out your kart and character in any way you want. Some carts like the ones from Nitro Kart are unlocked as you progress throughout adventure mode, and some skins like the character recolors are unlocked as you complete specific numbers of races with that character. An example would be for Tiny Tiger. You have this cheetah skin that reminds me of...
It ain't easy being cheesy.
The character skins you can purchase from the pit stop are in the legendary category and will perform a unique podium animation relating to that skin as well. That is awesome. Even some skins are from Crash Team Racing. It's a shame though, they didn't add the Mr. T Crunch.
Give me some coins, fool. I need a new ride.
It's clear that they went all out with the customization in Nitro-Fueled, and I'm so happy that it's not just with the paint jobs or the Nitro Kart team karts, but even Tag Team Racing karts have been added as well. It seems as if Beenox wanted to please pretty much all types of Crash fans with this, and I have nothing but respect for that. You know what else I have nothing but respect for? B-Movie the game. There was one thing I was wondering about this game, and that's adventure mode, and see if it would change from the original. And expectedly, it has, but very slightly. The plot is exactly the same and is as stupid as ever.
I challenge the best driver of your world to a race for the planet. If your driver wins, I'll leave your miserable little rock alone. But if I win, I will turn your entire globe into a ham and cheese sandwich.
Wait, what? Upon selecting adventure mode, you will have two modes to choose from, Classic and Nitro-Fueled mode. Classic is just like the original, where you choose your character and play throughout the game. Fairly standard. Nitro-Fueled mode is where you can customize your character and change it to whoever you want, whenever you want, and customize your car whenever you want as well. I love this new mode, as there's more diversity to it. Something else that has changed for the better is that you unlock the bosses when you defeat them. In the original, you had to complete the cup tournaments when you're nearly 100% adventure mode. Most people wouldn't do any of the bonus challenges, so now it's easier to unlock the bosses, which I love. Speaking of bosses, I love the boss cutscenes. There's so much detail and character to them. Unlike the original where they just sit in their cart and talk to you. I mean, at least it was something for the time. The themes of the character are greatly exaggerated and is as goofy as a Crash cutscene as you would expect. Ripperoo gets blown into the sky by TNT because, you know, cunt's mental. Papu and his cart gets carried by the tribesmen. All the cutscenes really capture the themes of the bosses really well. But I bet Beenox didn't do it. I bet they didn't get pinstriped to say foist. This game can't be that amazing. Can it?
What, you call that racing? Forget about it.
Say
if
it.
you's gonna race outside, you's gonna have to get past me first.
Mummy said it! I like how Dingo Dial was getting shot at with a Tommy gun and he couldn't give less of a shit. But you know what? It isn't my favorite line in the game anymore. Foist is still cool, but another line is better. And it's not...
Too damn big.
And it's not...
Maybe Papu not eating a big breakfast.
It's... wonderful. Actually, you know what that reminds me of? While I love all these new changes and the character detail and the cutscenes, my issue still stands from the last game. the boss races themselves. They were awful back then, and they're still awful today. If you honestly think they're good, you're as delusional as Sammy and Amy from Kitchen Nightmares.
I will fuck with you. Who the fuck you think you are?
They literally go faster than you and spam power-ups from behind them. Hell, they could have maybe added small things to improve it. Like, for example, Pinstripe, if you get close, he could shoot his Tommy gun at you. And for Komodo Joe, they could have added Komodo Mo in the boss race as well to race against the double boss, just like Small Norm and Big Norm from Nitro Kart. This is the same problem I had with Spyro Reignited Trilogy. The bosses in Spyro 1 are the saddest excuses for bosses that I've ever seen, and they didn't change it at all. At least for the Insane Trilogy, they increased Papu Papu's hit points and slightly changed his moveset. CTR's boss races are terrible, and it's sad that they didn't improve it like all these other aspects. And then Nitrous Oxide happened. I don't know if it's because I played on hard mode or what. The final boss race against Nitrous Oxide is absolutely ridiculous, to the point that it's tedious as well. I don't know if he's faster or spams more power-ups than the original, but this took me ages to complete. I even got every single platinum relic, and none of them were as nearly as annoying as the final boss race. I don't know what happened, but this further validates the point of this being the hardest kart racer ever made. Still is Dark Souls though. While I dislike the boss races, especially the final one, they did something really cool about them. Has nothing to do with the gameplay, but each boss has their own themed version of the original boss race music, depending on the character's track and personality. Ripperoo has all these honking and crazy noises in the background. Papu Papu has these jungle and temple vibes. Komodo Joe has these harmonica and mining sounds. Pinstripe Potteroo is a really cool one with his old-timey mafia sound effects. And Nitrous Oxide has a very mysterious sci-fi vibe. Just small details like that I adore. The 100% ending is also a very light-hearted ending compared to the original where Oxide just gets pissed off and leaves. Crash even coughs out the butterfly he swallowed in the intro. Nice bit of detail there. Speaking of details, this game looks stunning. It does suck, however, that this game is capped at 30 frames per second. But honestly, once you start playing, it is unnoticeable. Though I do hope for a PC release down the line like Insane Trilogy to play this game at its full potential. There was so much detail into creating these environments from scratch. Beenox even went out of their way to give more meaning to the tracks and somewhat of a story behind it. Coco Park is a perfect example. Tell me what the original had to do with Coco. Now tell me what it has to do with Coco. Yeah. Dragon Mines is another good example. Yes, I get it, Komodo Joe's a Komodo dragon, and that's his track. But they've added a dragon, and it's not just a dragon. Remember Wizards and Lizard from Crash the Wrath of Cortex? Yeah, exactly. Beenox even decided to put a Beenox logo in the background. Cheeky bastards. Hot Air Skyway this time is actually held up in the sky by balloons and blimps just like the original concept art, which I love. But my favorite aspect about the visuals in this game is the animation. Every character has very unique animations for every aspect. I mean, you know it's good when Pinstripe does the Italian hand. There's idle animations, racing animations, boosting animations, victory animations, and of course, jumping animations. Some different ones I love is where Crash kicks his leg out, Ripperoo where he stands on one leg and turns towards the camera, Entrance where his head comes off and holds it back in. The jump animations are great and actually have 2 stages depending on the height of the jump. My favorite is Oxide's where he starts off determined and angry, then completely changes to... This is the best looking Crash game to date, and the visuals are stunning, and of course they were going to be. But how does this game sound? I mean, for the most part it's good, but there are definitely some parts you can tell where the quality lacks, especially in the Mystery Caves and Papu's Pyramid soundtrack. However, in some tracks like Hot Air Skyway and Deep Sea Driving, it sounds superb, and what a remake should sound like. But you know what doesn't sound good? Uka Uka's voice in Adventure Mode.
Welcome to the adventure area. You can travel around this area and practice your driving skills.
You know, I tried to listen to that, but all I heard was Ooga Booga. I'd rather listen to the Bubsy 3D soundtrack. Actually, no, I take that back. Another interesting element is that some tracks have a dynamic element to the soundtrack. Crash Cove has a pirate-style remix on the boat, Cortex Castle has an organ cover for the soundtrack in the church section, and Polar Pass has a motherfucking polar bear DJ. Oh yeah, and the new Dragon Mine soundtrack sounds better than the original, don't at me. Okay, I know I've been praising this game a lot, and that is for good reason because this game's content that it provides is really extensive and it's really good. That is for most aspects. There are aspects that I want to issue now that are negatives. I mentioned this before. This game game is capped at 30 FPS. Barely noticeable, but still I would have loved to see it at 60. The loading times, they're shit. And I expected this. Just like Insane, I do hope they release a patch for this. The track Hyperspaceway, what the hell happened to it? Instead of working around the anti-gravity section here, they flat out removed it. Why? Don't get me wrong, I still love this track and the pace on it is incredible, but it's so much shorter. The track Out of Time. I do like the clock tower instead of the anti-gravity clock, don't get me wrong, but where the hell are those worm things? There are no obstacles in this section at all. It's not that uncommon to get Aku Aku or Uka Uka masks in first place. Now, I'm not saying that this wasn't a thing in the original because it definitely was. However, this is too common. Big Norm in the golfer skin looks like the human thumb from Spy Kids. Online private matches only host regular 3-lap races and not cup tournaments. Even though there was a patch for the online bugginess, there are still constant disconnection issues. Small Norm's icon is horrifying. Get it away from me. Entrance's size. Don't get me wrong, I love this new design for him and how he stands in the cart, but why is he so small compared to his actual size? Whatever, I guess he's gone from pink dick to small dick. Weird choice of character stats. We all know that the big characters like Tiny and Dingo have higher speed and lower turning, and we know that the smaller characters like Polar and Pura have higher turning. But why does Crunk have lower turning, and why is Small Norm an all-rounder? The Sewer Speedway shortcut is too unpredictable, and I either end up overshooting it or doing this. I'm grateful this hasn't happened to me, but there is a save file corruption issue that people have been getting when doing the time trial on Retro Stadium, which is a huge issue and people have been losing all their progress and save data and unlockables. Okay. CTR Nitro-Fueled. I'm addicted to this game, I will admit, and I haven't been addicted to a game in many years. I mean, it goes to show because my fingers have goddamn arthritis now because I've been playing too much, and the overall feel of the racing is amazing, and it's the most satisfying kart racer I have ever played. It's just these small imperfections like the lack of change in the boss races, the crappy load times, and all the other issues I mentioned. It just sucks that these certain things exist, and I wish they could have improved it, but I undoubtedly think that this is better to play than the original, but at the same time, it could be a hell of a lot better. But really, what can I say? The racing feels more satisfying, there's a bunch of detail and character to pretty much every single aspect of the game, and online CTR? That is amazing. And I love the way that online works where there's a track voting system similar to Call of Duty. And this is the most chaotic kart racer I've ever played due to the speed and all that goes on with the power-ups and the visuals. Nevertheless though, Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled makes the good list and gets a 9.25 out of 10. And that is the highest rating I've ever given a game. And I'm going to say it unbiasedly, truthfully, that this is the best kart racer ever made. For newcomers, it may be hard to grasp onto at first, but if you could get past that and learn the mechanics, you have an amazing kart racer at its core with a bunch of character diversity and customization, a wide selection of tracks, battle modes and bonus challenges not restricted to adventure mode this time, and an adventure mode that we haven't seen in a kart racer do like this in many years. This isn't just a remake. This is a celebration game of Crash Bandicoot and his revival after many years of being in the dirt, and a toast to the Crash games to come. And you can only respect the dedication of Beenox at this point because we know that we're going to be getting so much more post-launch content free of charge. This means more characters, more tracks, and a whole bunch of customization. And remember, no microtransactions, this is all free DLC. If you see this video as biased, I understand. I've liked Crash and I've been a fan of Crash ever since I've liked video games, and same with Mario, but you have my word that this game, at its core, is better than any Mario Kart I've ever played. How can Mario Kart 9 top this? It'll be tough. I don't know. But listen, Plumber Boy, Mustache Man, your worst nightmare is back, and you're gonna have some competition. Well, that was a long video. If you made it here, comment Oxide loves ham and cheese sandwiches. Then I'll know you've watched until the end, and thank you for making it here. Don't forget to share this video around, leave a like, and if you haven't already, subscribe with those notifications turned on. And if you'd like, don't forget to check out my social media listed here. Thank you all so much once again, and I'll talk to you before you know it. See you later.